Welcome, here I've got Vivo V21 5G and I'm gonna show you how to use the camera pro mode at this device. So let's start by tapping on the camera button to open it, and for now we are on standard photo mode. Let's change it by using this settings bar and just simply going to the right to more. Here we get access to more modes of this camera, one of them is the Pro, so let's pick it. Here we are. This mode gives us possibilities to choose some shooting parameters by ourselves. This is useful when we want to learn photographic skills or making experiments with photography. So let me start with this settings bar. Let's go from the left. The first one option here is the exposure compensation, so we can manage the light of our picture. We get access to this slider. At the 0 we have auto settings. When we go to the right, we can make our picture more bright. When we go to the left, we can make it more dark. Of course, there's no problem to go back to auto exposure. We have to simply slide to the center to 0. Now let's move to the second option, the ISO. Here we can change camera's sensitivity to light, and we can make it less sensitive from 100 and more sensitive by going to the right on another slider to 3 and 2000 of it. So this is really wide spectrum and really professional, like this kind of camera. And of course there's no problem to go back to auto ISO. Here we have to simply slide to the left to the beginning. Now let's move to the third option, the shutter speed, so we can manage the time of taking photo. And we can make it shorter from 1 and 12,000 of second, and this is really short time and should be definitely better to objects, for example in move with a good light to frozen them at the picture. When we move on the slider to right, we can make our time longer. Let's check the longest, 32 seconds, so it should be better to objects that are stable. And of course there's no problem to go back to auto shutter speed. We have to slide again to the left to the beginning. Now let's move to the next one option, the white balance, so we can change the temperature of our picture, and we can pick the light we have in the area where we take a photo. So let's start with tungsten light, then incandescent, we have sunny, cloudy and sunset, and also overcast. So you can pick between these parameters that are ready, or move to the end of the slider to get access to another. Here we can manually adjust white balance in Kelvin degrees, so when we go to the right we can make our picture more warm, when we go to the left we can make it more cold. As you can see, this is kind of balance between the warm and cold tones of our photo. And of course, to go back to auto white balance we have to slide on this settings bar to the beginning. Now let's move to the next one option, defocusing. We are on AF from autofocus. When we use another slider here, we can change it to MF, to manual one, and as you can see we can adjust focusing as we need, or go back to AF from the beginning. And also I want to show that when we adjust all of these parameters manually, and when we want to go back to auto settings with that, we don't have to use separately all of these buttons. We can tap to the last one option here from the right to reset all of these parameters to default, and now we can start using them from the beginning. Now let's move to the center up. When we tap to this button, we can turn on the camera leveler, another tap to turn it off, so the leveler is only available here in this camera app in the Pro mode. And we have this line. This is useful when we want to be sure that we hold our device steady when we need to take straight picture. And as you can see, when we have orange sign, we are informed by the device that this is the perfect position for it. Now let's turn this off and move to the right corner button so we can open the advanced camera options. Most of them is also in the standard photo mode, but here in the Pro we have two extra things. When we slide a little bit down, we have to find professional functions. When we pick it, we get access to histogram, by using the button from the right we can easily turn it on and off. So let me keep it turned on now. And here also we can find the option with 16 megapixels RAW plus JPEG. So when we turn it on by using the button from the right, we can save our pictures not only in JPEG format, we can save them also in the RAW. And this is also a really professional thing, because the RAW format is used by professional photographers to saving more details of their pictures and post-producing them in graphic programs. So good to know that we have it. Maybe let me leave the histogram. When we move back to the camera, we should see it here in the preview. And now let me adjust all of these settings to take a picture. So let's start with exposure compensation, a little bit brighter, the ISO maybe here, the shutter speed maybe kind of on the center, the white balance, let's stay on sunny light, and let's adjust the focusing maybe on auto. When we tap on the center we should autofocus that better. To see my photo, let's move to the left to the button that follows us straight to the gallery. So this is how it looks like. Of course it's not perfect. I suggest you to making experiments with all of these settings and just have a good fun. Thanks for watching, subscribe our channel and leave the thumbs up.